David Bowie, Slow Burn. Yeah. Quite a Eno trilogy feel about it. Lodger and sort of low type, yeah. But, yeah.
Enjoyable.
Now, okay. That's stressful, isn't it? I think we've got things working now. We've had people coming in and out, just shaking their head going, shouldn't have bought that desk. But it's all sorted now, I think. And,
you notice how it took, about 25 minutes for them to come down as well, though? Do you feel like we're maybe quite low in the pecking order in the building?
Definitely.
You know, it's like Capital First, Capital Gold. They can shoot off to other sort of pirate stations. People's car radios, then they come back here.
Oh, dear. Oh, I had a job at Richard Sounds. Light fitting was buzzing. Now, but we've got... thanks for staying, listening. Right, okay, educating Ricky. What have we got? Airy Chinese kid, go on.
Right, yeah. This is the... I didn't want to do this.
What do you mean you didn't want to do it?
Well, I wanted to give you 3, and I gave you one. It was like the alien man gets a beard or whatever.
Yeah, which was total rubbish, so this one should be better, maybe.
Hairy Chinese kid. Right, well, we've talked about airy people in the past.
True enough.
Haven't we?
Yeah.
You know, the little kids who grew up in woods and hung around with wolves and that.
Yeah, again, you're confusing it. Yeah, they're not... there were some people that were born... very hirsute. They were not the people who were brought up with wolves. You just put that together in your Homer Simpson type mind.
Right, well, this is like a sort of close to that sort of story. Yeah. But the weird thing is, right, Chinese people aren't that hairy as a nation. No, seriously, that's a well-known fact. They don't have that much body hair and stuff.
Okay.
So this little kid who was born over there, he was like covered in stuff.
Was he?
And it was only his nose that wasn't hairy. The rest of his body was caked in hair, right? And his hair sort of...
What sort of hair was it? Was
thick,
it...
thick hair.
No, what I mean is, was it sort of, like a pony's mane, so he just looked like an Ewok? You know what I mean? Just like hanging down sort of straight, dark hair.
In the picture, it looked like... it grows from his eyebrow. It grows from his eyebrows quite thick. And then it just goes all the way over his head.
You don't think it was just really long eyebrows that he'd done a comb over?
No, it was all over his body. It had a picture of, like, his back and that.
Yeah.
And,
had he styled it? Had he styled it at all? Did he have it in a quiff, or...?
No, it was just
hanging everywhere.
all over him.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know, this is a bit weird. Happening in China, where we're not normally that airy.
That was the scientist speaking there.
Yeah.
And the local press and that were getting him down, calling him monkey boy and all this.
Oh.
And
thinking Chinese press.
But the doctor...
Yeah. Oh.
They're cruel, aren't they? It's like those game shows. Well, that's Japanese, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
And the doctor said...
I was Karl talking through all that time while we were just like talking to each other then? Because I turned round and I still saw he was talking. Go on.
So anyway, the local press came in to see the hairy boy, the monkey boy.
Yeah, and they were like being tight, taking the mickey out of him, and the doctor said...
throwing him nuts.
Said he's only airy. Said he's a healthy young kid. The only faults he's got is he's got a little bit of eczema and a boil. And he said everybody should just treat him the same, and I think he grew up a healthy kid. Yeah, so that's the
end of the story.
That's not a story.
Why?
But I've got nothing. I don't know what to say to that. So someone in China was born slightly hairier than the rest, and he was normal apart from eczema and a boil. That to me isn't a story. But if it is, I've got a million. I mean, it's sort of like bloke from Manchester went a bit bolder than the rest, got a job on radio. He was normal. I mean, that's not a story, is it? Some great adverts there on XFM.
I enjoyed them.
104.9.
Absolutely. We have to give away these 3 pairs. We have to give these away, Rick.
Yeah.
We've got 3 pairs of DJ
Shadows.
Shadows.
I know, but turn up with this is so jam-packed. I think we've planned too much for this show.
We have indeed.
Next week, I think we have a little bit flabbier next week.
Rick,
do less.
Rick, can we chill out next week, please?
Yeah. Go on then.
So yeah, any ideas, guys? Any questions? Sort of DJ Shadow related questions? Any Shadow or DJ questions? Karl, any ideas?
What does the word DJ mean?
Yeah, it's too easy. I'll tell you something I do know.
Go on.
Right. But I can't really get a question out of it.
Go on, just tell us.
There's a shadow somewhere.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
I'm loving it
No,
already.
right. There's a shadow. I think it was in America.
Yeah.
And it's on a quiet road. I'm guessing somewhere like Boston. That's what I imagine.
Okay.
Right?
No.
Somewhere like Boston. And people at night used to see this shadow moving about. And they'd go, what's that? Right? And it got known, the town, the little local town got known for this shadow, but it didn't cause any problems. People
What are you
used to-
talking about?
Well, it was
Just
like-
you've lost me.
What are you talking
No,
about?
do you know like some places get famous, like Scotland's got the Loch Ness Monster and that, but
Nah,
it doesn't
go
cause
on,
any.
yeah.
But it doesn't cause any problems.
Doesn't exist, go on.
Right, so there's this shadow walking about on the road. And,
What do you mean? No, what's he again? Rubbish.
Right, so it's walking
Nonsense.
about.
Where did you read this? Where did you
It's
see
walking
this?
about. This was on the internet, and I'm
Oh,
sure.
sorry. Sorry.
Right.
I thought it was shite. I didn't know it was on the internet.
Right, so this shadow is moving about, and
Independently of an object.
yeah, and the local mayor and that is like, yeah, it's a bit weird, but it's not harming anyone.
Ah, the mayor involved.
Was he
Mayor-
elected to that post?
Hey, mayor, we got a problem down here. Seems like a shadow. Well, it's not causing any. No, it's
Is
just.
it causing any problems?
Yeah, go on.
But that's the thing. It was left for years, and then it did start causing problems.
I see, that's it. If you leave these shadows to go unchecked, Rick, they go crazy.
Yeah.
You let them run amok in the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
You've got to stand
What
down
did it do?
on
What did it
Roman
do?
shadows.
What did the shadow do?
It was pushing people off the bikes.
It was what?
It was pushing people off the bikes.
Oh,
I'll find out more for that next week. Right, that'll tease
oh,
them.
you're a maniac.
We'll do more on that. We haven't had time for educating.
Please never have children.
Right, listen.
You are
Just promise me now you'll never have kids.
Look,
We haven't got time.
Okay,
now
listen,
for-
alright, DJ Shadow, have we got time for to give these tickets away?
Yeah, if they just call up, we'll.
No, I'll tell you what, I've got a question, right?
Go on.
Where does Karl think this may have taken place? If you've been listening to the show, where do you think this evil shadow has been running amok? Let us know. The number, Karl?
Good question.
08700 800 1234. So,
Excellent.
but that's it. We are actually out of time.
We are indeed.
now.
Have I got time for a song for the ladies?
It's a bit tight. I was
Why?
told to finish
It's
now.
5:02.
I know, but we've got to get finished early today. So
why?
just because we have, and we're wasting more time talking about why we have to.
Oh, this is pathetic.
So they call up. Where did they see the ghost?
Yeah.
And you've got to pick the tickets up from reception. You can go tonight, see DJ Shadow. That's
Shoddy.
it.
This
right?
is shoddy.
Right. See you then. Lobe of this.
Yeah, get a lobe of this, yeah.
Well, that's a story about a girl who she was deaf, right, for 4 years, and it happened quite a bit back this.
What year? Or was it?
About- I think it was
specific ages ago, was it?
About yeah, quite a bit back. She was deaf for about 4 years, having an argument with her mum, it said, which I didn't quite understand, because I don't know how they do that.
Yeah.
But she was having an argument, and a man pushed her against a wall, and she banged her head, and her hearing came back.
Okay.
Was she wearing a Walkman and it fell out? And she'd realised, well, oh, that's
There's
why.
no explanation.
There's no explanation. Well, why is that teaching me something
Right,
then?
so I knew you'd say this, right? So I thought, right, I'll stick something on it. Do you know that bees are deaf?
No! No, you can't just, no! No! If
No.
you ask someone something they don't know the answer to, they don't tell you something else. Just, I'll tell you something else then. I can't answer that, I'll tell you something else. Imagine that. If you asked a teacher. Look. How do birds fly? Wow, if you're gonna do that. Tallest building is, I mean, what?
Well,
That was the equivalent, Karl, of running away when we asked you a question.
Yeah, the intellectual equivalent of going, look over there, there's a monster.
Yeah.
Listen, what do you mean? What she, okay, so, oh.
So her
There's
hearing
no
came back.
explanation. There's no explanation. Or you don't know.
well, there isn't one, is there, really? It's a bit
What,
weird.
did,
But the
doctors,
only
did
thing
the doctors not look into it?
No, I think they just said, oh, that's good.
But, so again, I don't. Where did this information? Is that if you read this on
Is
the net?
that
Is that
it?
all they put on
There
the
was
net?
once a deaf woman who hit her head and she
And her
could hear.
hearing came back.
It was bizarre things about being deaf.
Was there
and-
three
Oh,
like?
yeah.
Was there
I've got that book, yeah, it's a good book, that.
Was there three
Yeah.
more pages you just couldn't be bothered to read on?
Yeah.
No, it was just a little bit, and it
Was there a
said-
little picture, a cartoon picture?
No pictures, I just
Are we
read
going,
it.
ow!
Look,
Ow,
if you
I
don't
can
want to
hear.
know, if you don't want to learn, you know.
Yeah. Okay, it's not his fault. Let me have it's not his fault. You gotta save this. This has gotta teach me something. It'll be an interesting story.
Right, it's not his vault. This fella,
Yeah. What year? Ages ago?
Olden times.
I'd say in the 70s.
Okay.
Would you? Any evidence for that?
And,
Does he wear flares in the story?
Right,
Is that your reason?
No, it's a bit like Yuri Geller, this fella, right? Where he's electric.
He's electric.
And, if he walks past the telly would fizz. If he walked past the radio, it all goes like that.
Ooh.
His hair stuck up all the time. And he'd be having a bath and everything would be alright, and then the power would sort of switch on in his body, and the electric in his body made him jump out of the bath. So...
What do you mean, so? What is that so? What does that so mean? You've given us nothing. You've given us nothing.
You'd have to at least give us the scientific explanation.
Yeah.
Electric eels have 400 volts in them.
Oh, is this the running away again?
What was that one called?
Yeah, but
It's not his vault.
But there's a reason that not his fault. It's not his fault. I thought it was going to be something about keeping it in a safe.
I think we should do these the other way round. I think you should tell us the story and then we'll hear the pun.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
Right, let's leave it.
Play a tune. Educating Ricky.
Doing it. We're not doing it.
No, we are.
Oh.
I'll tell you what, though, talking about ghosts and that, do you know how I'm into them?
Yeah.
Right? How weird do you think this is, right?
Well, it's not true. Before you say it, play a record.
No, go on.
Go on.
Right, it's this woman. I don't even know if it's ghost, really. It's just a bit weird.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
There's this woman, and she's not a woman, she's a kid.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
She's walking down, like, a street in her area. It's a nice day and everything. Everything's normal. She's walking down, and a woman comes up, cycling past, right? The woman on the bike looks at the kid, absolutely terrified, right? Got a really scary face on her.
Yeah.
The kid's thinking, why is she doing that?
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, she thinks nothing of it, goes, I think she was playing in the park or whatever, goes and has a nice day. About 15 years later...
Oh, right, yeah.
She's, I don't know, I think she was going to work, right, on a bike.
She was riding her own bike.
Riding her own bike, cycling down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Looks at the kid. That's the thing that happened, like, 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
It's her on the bike looking at her as a kid.
Right. Not another child.
No. So
Right.
it's her, she's seen herself.
Carl? I mean, I don't know where to start.
Firstly, where's this information come from?
But I mean, why do you ever? I mean, I don't know what part of that you think can be true. I mean, honest. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. What are you talking about?
Bit weird, though, isn't it?
But it's not true.
It didn't happen. Nothing happened like that.
She said it did.
Well, she's wrong.
She said she saw herself.
She saw herself as a kid, didn't she?
Did she carry on riding
and as an adult when she was a kid.
Did she stop and talk to herself, or did she ride on by and think that's a bit weird? There's me as an 8-year-old. I won't stop. I'll be late for work.
yeah. If I'm late again, the boss said he'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
And where is this information? Did it happen to someone you know?
No.
You overheard it on the bus?
No, it was in the 14 Times.
Ah, right. Well,
okay.
that's the answer.
Good.
We've got to the bottom of that.
Right, good. Brilliant.
Now, what do you make of David Blunkett accusing...
That was the main bit of the story, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But this one, right, we have sort of talked about it, and you weren't having any of it at the time.
What?
This next bit of science I'm telling you about.
Go on
then. Right? Remember when I told you about a lad who was living at home with his mum and dad, right? Everything's, normal life, go to school, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Then, I think his mum and dad had an argument, and it kicked off a bit, and he thought, I'm sick of this. It's happening all the time now. They kept having arguments, so the kid ran off into the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep.
Right?
God.
Now, he left, he went and ran in the woods, and he ended up living with some monkeys.
Right.
Right? And he thought, this isn't a bad life, there's no arguments going on.
Sure.
He was getting on with them. And the weird
he loved
thing
bananas.
is, this is where the science bit comes in.
Oh,
sure.
He grew a load of hair on his body.
That's not true. It's not true.
It is true.
It's an acquired characteristic.
I bet someone will back me up on this.
But no, you can't. You can't grow hair like that. You might get a little bit more down here. They might the erectile tissue might, they won't fall out as much. That would, but you don't actually grow a big mane if you're cold and you're a human.
Well, he did. He did. This lad did. I know it sounds a bit strange and that, but he was living with the monkeys. and because it was cold, his body reacted to it.
Listen. He was no hairier than he would have been if he was walking around naked on a cold day, with or without living with monkeys.
The fact that he was living with monkeys makes no difference.
No, I know, but I'm trying to get, picture it in your head what it's like.
Although Mickey Dolenz was always pretty hairy.
Right? So, he was living with them, and, he went into town or something one day.
Oh, yeah.
To get some food, and the people there were like, hang on a minute, that isn't a monkey.
He went in naked?
No, it was there covered in hair.
Yeah, but naked, but covered in hair, so it was decent. It was.
Yeah. But that was a weird thing. They thought it was a monkey in the shop. And then
so presumably he had a big long beard as well, because he couldn't shave, could he?
No, he just covered. He looked like a monkey.
And they were happy to serve the monkey, were they? There's a monkey, he's
How
buying
did he
a
walk?
newspaper and some milk.
How did he walk, Carl? Did he walk upright or whistling along?
The picture that I saw on the internet, he was on all fours, but I don't know if that's when he was running away after they'd sort of, realised he was a kid. But this was a picture.
So he was a kid as well, he wasn't even like an adult with the beard?
No, he was a kid.
Brilliant.
And
the beard kicked in a little bit
So
earlier.
listen, so the people caught him.
You're an idiot.
The people caught him, shaved him, right? Got it all off, didn't grow back again.
Right.
You're an idiot.
Well, like I say, people will have heard this story or read about it.
You're an idiot.
And they'll email in, they don't let me down.
And they'll agree that you're an idiot.
No, they'll have seen the story.
You're an idiot.
So that's a little bit of science.
You're an idiot.
The weird thing is, right, looking around in the week at weird stuff on the internet, there was this woman who's got a big head.
Oh, yeah.
And, she was fed up with it because when she was walking down the street, it was so big, she couldn't hold it up.
Right. She couldn't hold it up.
Oh God.
Okay, shut up.
So,
she couldn't hold it up.
When she was walking, her eyes were hurting because she had to sort of look up all the time because her head was that heavy, her chin was sort of balanced on her chest.
Right. And she'd have to peek up, yeah.
So, she goes to the doctors, and this was after years and years, and, said, I thought I could put up with it, but I can't.
How big was her head?
It's big, Rick.
I don't know if it was, like, big, because there wasn't a picture. I don't know if it was just big or a lot of bone. So it was heavy.
Very heavy.
Right, like the Elephant Man, just outcrops.
Right, so the doctor said, we can sort that out. But we'll have to take your head off.
Right.
Okay,
listen
keep
to
going.
this.
Okay,
listen,
keep going.
Because what you don't seem to understand is I have the same reaction to you when I see it.
Yeah.
What?
Right? You're quizzical yourself.
So I looked at it, they took her head off, chipped away a bit of the bone, made her head lighter, put it back on.
Right, play the Smiths.
They took a woman's head off.
Yeah, this is asked by the Smiths.
And if you'd like to ask Karl something, details coming up soon. How's that?
Got a couple of things under the banner of then educate me.
Yeah.
We've got this is interesting, right? Do you know if you have an operation on your brain, right? What they do is this is why I'd never go to the doctors. I don't like doctors because this sort of stuff freaks me out, right? They can operate on your brain, and what they do is they put you to sleep first, cut your brain case open.
Your skull, yeah.
The brain case.
Yeah, yeah.
And then wake you up and operate on you. So you sat there with your head open, messing with your brain, and you don't feel anything.
Well, there's no nerve endings, is there, in the brain?
But still, it's not is it?
What, you think they do it for fun?
No,
they go on, Reg, wake him up so he's all freaked out.
Is it necessary that you're awake, do you think, or...?
Well, they need the brain active, don't they?
Yeah, but it is when you're asleep, you're having mad dreams. I had a mad dream the other day.
Go on.
No, I might tell you about it later, but there's no sense to it. But, so your brain's still...
Where is this conversation?
Yeah, I mean, it'll turn out, I go, no, Karl, I was there, that wasn't a dream.
Yeah.
No, but... So, I mean, if I had an operation...
On your brain, heaven forbid.
Well, operation anywhere, I'd like to sort of think, well, I'll have an injection, I'll go asleep, but when I wake up, it'll all be sorted.
Yeah.
The fact that...
Your brain case is open.
Open, and they wake you up and you think, oh, is it all done? They say, well, have a look in the mirror. And your brain...
See, I don't think they do that. I don't think they try and frighten you when you're doing an operation.
Yeah, I don't think that you go about your business and they sort of follow you around, dabbling.
Yeah.
No, but it's almost like they are having a bit of a laugh with you.
Right, well, I'd just like to say now that they don't. Anyone who's going in for an operation on their head, do not ever listen to anything Karl says.
Why have you got to be awake? Because you'll be bored anyway, you'll be sat there.
Well, they give you a telephone directory, look, and they say, look how many Macs are in there. That's the Scottish telephone directory. And, you know, time flies when you're counting that sort of thing.
No, but do you know, like, when you...
What are you telling me? What are you
I'm just
asking
saying
me?
how weird it is. It's weird, isn't it? It's like, do you know when you go for a haircut, right? It's a bit embarrassing. Well, I don't anymore, but when you go for a haircut, it used to be
When you go for a haircut?
It used to be a bit embarrassing when, like, they'd wet your hair and they'd make you have that sort of Hitler cut because your hair's wet, and I used to hate it, and I think, do you have to do that? Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Similar. It's very similar to open skull surgery.
What I'm saying is, it's almost like barbers like to do that to make you look daft and feel daft for a bit, and there's women coming in and out, and you're sat there with a daft haircut.
Yeah.
And this is what that reminds me of.
Do you think they do it in a shop window? This brain operation?
I'm just saying, it's a bit
weird. Do you think why are we doing it in John Lewis's? Just so more people
I love the idea that that's what doctors are doing. Let's make this guy look a bit stupid.
Yeah.
Open his brain
Look
case.
at the twatty look for this brain out of his head.
Take a Polaroid, Reg. Take a Polaroid.
Look at him. Look at his face. Right, clock his face when I give him the mirror. Get this on camera.
Put this fake nose and glasses
Sorry, did you teach me something then? Was that educational?
I taught you that your brain case can be open with your awake, and you just sat there sort of letting them get on with it.
Brilliant. I've learnt that. I'll never forget that. Right, go on. Anything else?
You'll love... Let's play a song, because the next one is amazing.
What, even more amazing than that?
Yeah. Play a song?
Yeah, bit of Bowie?
No email still, by the way.
No, I don't think it's working.
It's not working today.
Lady Stardust.
We'll have to do a phone-in for Rockbusters.
Off the Ziggy Stardust album.
Alright. Old woman, about 70 years old.
Yeah.
She's normally fit and healthy and stuff, nothing wrong with her, she's having a good life. And one day, she goes for a check to the doctors, just to check herself out, 'cause she's getting on a bit.
Yeah.
Says, take your clothes off and that. So she does, and checks her out, says, yeah, you're looking good, you're looking good. Turn round, he said, oh God. He says, you got a tumour on your buttock. Right? So she goes, oh, what, can you do anything to sort it out? So they go, yeah, we'll book you in for an operation, it's best if we remove this. Books are in for an operation. Operation day comes, strip her down and that. They're all stood round, the doctors. Start to operate. It only turns out it's a pork chop that she sat on 5 years earlier, and it had stuck to her buttock.
Right, Karl.
I can forward you... Serious.
Right, okay, Karl, I'm telling you now, I'm leaving. I'm never doing this show again.
No, I'm serious. Honestly.
You're talking... I've never had such... You are... Play a record. Play a record.
I couldn't believe it.
What do you mean you can't believe it? Stop the record. Stop the record. Stop the record. Right, okay. Right, what do you mean you couldn't believe it?
No, when I read it, I said, I've got to tell Richard...
This woman had a pork chop stuck to her arse for 5 years, you mental case. Of course she didn't.
I don't think I did answer it. I just said, you know, the odd thing.
You just said I'm asleep.
Little things. Like, I ran home the other night and said, oh, I've just learnt something today. She goes, go on. And, you know Lego bricks?
Oh, yeah.
The name came about because some kid's mum, the kid was messing with the bricks, and she said, let go of them and come and have your dinner.
Play a record.
It's got to be rubbish. It's got to be rubbish.
It's always rubbish, isn't it?
Well, they're Scandinavian for a start. So,
the Scandinavian.
There's no... Let go.
Interesting. Thanks for that.
Whereas Lego was invented when a mother had sent someone to get some, though there's no name for them. She went, can you go and get some? There was a gap. He went, oh yeah, I'll go and get some, because they weren't called anything. Brought them back, started playing with her. And then she went, look, give me those. He went, no. She went, Lego, you idiot.
Yeah, the actual explanation, various people have emailed us in or phoned in now. The company was set up in 1934. It's a Danish company, obviously.
Yeah.
Lego comes from the Danish words leg got, which means play well, and it was later discovered that it was also a Latin phrase that meant I study or I put together.
Yeah. Didn't they?
I mean, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Why? What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you today?
I'm just saying.
What, you're fed up with people, taking issue with some of the stupid things you say? Lego was invented by a mother going, let go of that. What are we going to do with all the buildings? The earth might collapse. What do you expect people to say? Even our listeners know you're talking rubbish. And some of those aren't allowed to wear socks. I mean...
Listen, right, last week...
An idea, I can see it in your eyes. He's got a brilliant idea. Wait for it, go on.
No. It's something, when I was looking on the web, found something out.
Go on.
It's a story about a woman who had a baby. What are you talking about?
What?
A woman who had a baby who was having a baby.
It was no clearer when you repeated it.
No! Carl! I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do for the common good, right? Pursue this line of inquiry, right? Because I don't know where it's going. Or play a record. I'm actually torn. I don't know what to do.
No, I remember seeing it and thinking, I've got to tell Ricky about that. It's brilliant.
What should we do? Should we go with it? I mean, it's like, it's entering into the abyss. It's opening Pandora's box. It's peeking, it's going down to the cellar.
I've got a couple of questions, though.
Go on, then.
Well, come down there with me.
Okay,
come down in the cellar with me.
Okay, right. Carl, what, first of all, it was on the web. What do you mean? The baby was what? Had another, was it, she didn't give birth, the doctor didn't find one of those set of Chinese dolls up her? Russian dolls, whatever they're called.
That's what I pictured it like, those dolls where you take the head off and there's another one in there that all look the same, but no, the story was, there's a woman who's...
No, don't just say it again, that's a headline. That's not a story. There was a woman who had a baby, That's not a story. Imagine handing that in as a thesis to loads of the BMA. There you go, and read that.
That's a children's rhyme.
Yeah, there was a woman who had a baby What do you mean? So she had a baby, right? Yeah.
And,
that bit's fine. We're okay with that.
That's normal. That's normal.
A woman had a child.
Yeah, totally normal.
She gave birth. Fine.
Yeah.
Next.
Well, I don't know that much more. Apart from the fact that the baby's, like, roaming about. And then, 12 months later, she's like, oh...
Interesting. So the gestation period of that baby was actually 3 months more than an adult.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's weird, though, isn't it?
So, was the headline, my baby's 12 months pregnant? What are you talking about? 12 months later, it had a... What are you talking about?
Forget it.
No, you haven't even finished the story. That what you said, and 12 months later, you didn't even finish the sentence. So, what do you mean?
No, I didn't read any more into it, because I just saw that and I thought, that's weird, and then I just was thinking, oh, like, imagine the kid at school, at parents' evening.
Go on.
And it's like, well, your kid's pretty good, now let's have a look at your work, sort of thing. Don't you think that'd be weird?
But what? Did the child have a baby?
Yeah.
Of course it didn't! Play a record!
We shouldn't have gone down in the cellar. We should have just left the cellar door closed. I never learned.